it's Dan Martin. Today's video is going to be on how to fix your slice. We're going to do a couple different things to understand the dynamics of what causes slicing and why it's kind of like the more epidemic movement in golf, and it's generally the first thing somebody that's newer to the game needs to get over. And then we're also going to use my training aid, the Pro, to exemplify and understand what really needs to happen and do some drills. But we're going to have 3 basic drills here. But before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about slicing and what that is. So those who slice, I've got a target line here on the ground. A slicer always gets the club outside the ideal orbit, and then the club pulls back inwards. So it's our kind of classic more over the top, or the club gets way outside, and then I've got to pull it back in. The act of pulling it back in creates a swing dynamic where the club is going from out to in, or toward the left of our ideal target line. And so then therefore, the only way for the brain to get the ball to the target is to hold the face open. So if you roll the face while you make a slicing pattern, you actually hit it way left, okay, which can happen, tends to happen with the shorter clubs, but as you get in the longer clubs, that doesn't happen. So how do you fix that? How do you fix that slice? So first and foremost, a slicer tends to do a couple things here. A, they rarely turn enough on their backswing. And then B, they try to propel the golf club through their muscles and try to make the club head hit the ball. It's generally, I find, a strong attachment to this idea that golf is a hand-eye coordination sport. And it's really not. It's a proprioception sport. So where you sense movement in the direction of movements as opposed to try to make something happen. Problem with our body is that we can move the individual segments through muscles and create just a jillion different movements that kind of look or we think is a swing. In reality, though, there's only really one kind of path to swing on that's optimal for you if you want to hit it straight. So going back to the slice, if I don't turn enough, I can't have access actually to get it. So a player that doesn't turn enough, they're either going to tend to slice or throw the club out, or then if they decide slicing's not good, then they're going to try to tilt their body and try to do some other things to prevent slicing, which opens up a whole other host of problems. So skill number 1 in learning how to prevent or to improve your slicing tendency is to first of all learn how to turn, okay? Most players just don't know how to turn, and turning's uncomfortable in golf because your eyes cannot stay centered on the ground. I mean, it's maybe 1 in 100 people, maybe 1 in 1,000 could keep their necks or has enough flexibility in their neck where they could actually make a full turn and stay still. So the ball is going to travel on your full turn into your peripheral, into your kind of like corner of your lead eye, okay? So the drill that I really like players to do is what I call it the Hey Dan drill, because I'm going to be the subject, but whatever your name is, insert after Hey. And what I want to do is just get myself kind of in a comfortable golf posture. And then I want to imagine if somebody said, "Hey Dan," behind me, I'm just going to turn and look over my shoulder like so. And I want to do this very kind of reflexively. So I want to stay put here, but I just want to just turn my neck over and see what my body does. Your natural turn is that, okay? So when I lose connection with the ground and I just look back over myself, you can see how much bigger my turn is. So the drill would go like this. This is just to understand your range of motion. Do the Hey Dan drill, look back, okay, try to stay balanced, and then just turn your neck back the other way, and now you have the understanding and the viewpoint of what your backswing looks like. From down the line, why is that going to help your slicing? Well, if I do the same drill, come back, look where I can put my hands. If I just keep my body still and don't turn, I can't get my hands back in the spot. So to get the club on path, I've got to have access to this kind of depth in the swing. So first step, open the body, turn. Once you do that drill, you start to get the better idea. Second drill, I've got my Pro here. Using my Pro also helps me with learning how to turn. So when you use the Pro, I'm just going to do it without the grip on it here for now. But to sling something like a rope behind you and start to get it to swing, you actually have to master turning. So if I just do this, I have no way of getting this to work. So I intuitively, if I want to strike something with a rope, I have to swing it back and get it around me and sling it off my back. And you'll notice, look how big my turn is now. I can also see the cylinder starting to point to where I want to go. That's another good indication of I've got it in the right spot. And that allows me, as you can see, there's not an ounce of over the top. And that's the key. And then the final thing to do with your Pro here is what I call the Let Go Pro drill, okay? I've got a target line here on the ground, Once I turn up, if I'm moving everything and letting momentum extend in the right direction, momentum always extends basically towards the target line. So I want to feel like as the club head is extending and the momentum is transferring, if I'm doing that well, it never gets outside the target line. So if I'm doing this drill correctly, the let go drill, and if I'm doing it incorrectly, then I would actually throw the pro outside the target line. So that's the essence of a slice, okay? If I was overcompensating, I'd throw it inside the target line. So my object here is to take it back and focus on when I let go. If at any point in time I let go back here, it should go right to the target line. And so that's the essence of the swing. If you can understand what you're doing there, you're not trying to rotate and hit the ball. You're actually just getting a gentle rotation going, and then you're letting your arms flow out that direction, and then the pro will follow. Once I've done that a few times, I can start to copy that idea. So with my swing, full turn. If I make a full turn, look where my arms can get, okay? Now, once I've made a full turn, if my intent is to throw it outwards, if my intent's to hit the ball and I change my eye position, I go over. But if my intent's to throw it outwards, look where my arms go. This actually doesn't rotate as far as you think it does. It starts to move, but as momentum transfers, it stalls, and that allows the momentum to go in the right direction, and then just passes and comes from the inside. And that's how you start to get a handle on fixing your slice. So again, it's the full turn, and it's the understanding using the pro how it makes you turn, and finally doing what we call the let go pro drill. And that's a great way to get a handle on understanding how to fix your slice.